Can you believe that this beautiful thing is already 7 years old? Yeah, 7 years old. Time flies. Anyway, we have a really eventful day scheduled today. We're taking this car to get its 6-year maintenance done. And I know by now you guys are probably saying, well, wait a second, Justin. I thought you said the car was 7 years old. Why are you just now doing a 6-year maintenance? I get it. I was a little late on this one. I don't drive this car all the time, and honestly, I don't even have the car in my possession all the time. So this is the soonest I was able to get it done. So we are officially a couple months behind. It hasn't been exactly 7 years yet, that in my defense. But anyway, we're taking it today for the 6-year maintenance. And really what that means is coolant. So you guys know on the channel here, I try to do as much work on my cars myself as I possibly can. This is one of those things that I really can't do because the coolant flush on this car is a flush, and I don't have the machine to do a flush. So I have to take it to the dealer where they can hook it up to a machine, literally push new coolant in as the old coolant's pushed out. So it's literally flushing the entire system and really getting this thing perfectly clean. So that is why I'm going to take it to the dealer. Now, while it's there, we're also going to change the brake fluid. Now, again, I usually do this stuff myself, but I figured it's going to be there. It's already on the lift. I'm going to have him do it. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. And again, my brake fluid of choice is the Castrol React SRF Racing. This stuff has really, really good dry boiling points, but also it maintains a pretty high wet boiling point. So that basically means when you first put the fluid in, the boiling point is super high, but as it gets wet, it typically starts to come down. What wet means is basically this fluid will eventually start to absorb moisture. And once it's wet, it still maintains a really, really high 518 degrees of boiling point while wet. So this is a little bit better than most other brake fluid on the market once it gets wet, which yeah, it does. So anyway, it's been a little over 6 years. We need new coolant. We need new brake fluid. And really, we probably should be swapping the coolant in the supercharging system as well, but we're not doing that today. That does not need to be flushed. And that is something I will probably do on my own because that also needs to be bled in a very, very specific way that I'm not sure the dealership's even familiar with. We'll ask them about it today though. Anyway, let's go get this done. But first, cold start. There she is, sounding really freaking good as usual. But yeah, usually you guys get the cold start of the C8 Z06. Today we get some C7 ZR1 love. So yeah, like I said, today's a maintenance kind of day for the ZR1. So yeah, let's go get it done. Every time I drive this car, I'm reminded of why I've owned this car longer than I've owned any other car. Almost 7 years I've owned this car, and the next longest car I've ever owned, probably about 3 years. She still sounds good. It's a blast to drive this thing. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit more about what we're doing today and why this matters for you guys. A lot of you out there who have a C7, the newest that it could possibly be is 2019. And at that point, you are due for this service. You're due for this. If this has not been done on your car yet, you are 100% due for this. Now, obviously, you could have an even older C7. And if you do, you should have done this even longer ago than I have, or that I should have. But either way, yeah, this is your public service announcement. Go get your 6-year maintenance done on your C7 Corvette if you haven't done it yet. I'm going to show you all about what it is today, how to do it, where to do it. Like I said, the dealer is really the only place I would trust to do it at this point because it is a flush, and I trust my particular Corvette tech. So go to your dealer, get this flush done, You need it, trust me. Anyway, I'll see you at the dealer. All right, guys, we are here. Of course, this is number 1 Cochran in Zelienople, Cranberry area. This is the only place that I trust any kind of work on my cars to be done. So you guys know I'm a big fan of Greg, the vet tech here. He's the one that's gonna do the work on my ZR1. And this guy is here too, because he just had some work done on his Z06. Guess what kind of work he had done? Would it be the exact same thing that I'm gonna have done?
I'm pretty sure.
Pretty much. So Dana knows if I trust this guy, he can trust him too. And sure enough, he just finished his car. So that one's done. Mine's about to get done, and I'm gonna show you how it gets done. So let's do it. All right, so this goes in first.
Yep.
It's like a cleaner.
Super clean, yep.
Okay.
And they added it here.
And then this will go in after everything's done.
Correct, yep.
Okay. So this is really the reason I can't do this myself, this thing. So doing the coolant flush first, he put the cleaner in there, the car's running and kind of cycling through the water pump area and all that. And then this is the coolant he'll use, which is of course Dex Cool. And yeah, that's obviously AC Delco, all GM fluids here. So, and then he's also going to do the brake fluid like we talked about. And the reason I come to this guy, I asked him, I was like, do you take the wheels off to do this? And he said, no. I love that, because he can go right through the spokes there, get to the bleeder valves, and that's all you need to do. So this is why I keep coming this. I mean, I drive about an hour to get here, and that's why. Sucking out the old fluid first.
Yep, empty the reservoir with the brand new here. That way, whatever machine you're using, pushing or pulling, you have the new fluid going right through. From the start. The reservoirs take a little bit to get it out.
Yeah. There's a bunch of crevices in there, I know.
Yeah, and it takes a little while to kind of bleed back into the middle, and then.
But he's sucking that out of the reservoir, so when he dumps in the new stuff, it's immediately nothing but clean fluid going through the whole braking system. So he said roughly this entire bottle here will be used. So make sure you get that. I'll link that down below if you guys want to get that same fluid, but one of those will be enough to do one car. So filling up the reservoir now with the new stuff, and then he'll start pressure bleeding it. You guys have probably seen brakes done like this before, but it is interesting watching somebody who does this all day, every day, how much more efficient he is than we are. So just filling up the reservoir took about half, and the rest, really small brake lines, of course, so that'll take the rest throughout the entire rest of the system. But he was able to suck out literally half of that bottle, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, that thing was empty when we started. That's wild. I wouldn't have thought that would suck that much out of just that reservoir, but...
Well, big reservoir, big calipers, right?
Yeah.
You have monster calipers on this thing.
Yeah, that's crazy, though.
This isn't going to be inaccurate of what's in there.
Right, yeah.
Other garbage in there, but I mean...
No, it's not too bad.
No.
I actually expected that to be darker. I've never changed this. So again, this is the 6-year maintenance thing, and it calls for brake fluid and radiator fluid or coolant. And he's actually the guy who told me we got to do this. So, I mean, I knew we had to. I just am totally blanking on C7 stuff, but he doesn't. He likes C7s. Don't you, Dana?
I love my C7.
All right, so first caliper going to get bled. I'm only going to show you one of these because I think you get the point. But it's under a suction at this point, so he'll crack that valve and it will literally suck the fluid through the system. Once it starts running clear, you close it back off, move on to the next caliper. And there's the fluid. soon as that starts running clear, you tighten up that bleeder valve and move on to the next one. So, definitely not rocket science, but whenever they do it as often as he does, he's able to get this done a lot more efficiently. So as you can hear, the car's still running. It's still cycling that cleaner through the coolant system. And then eventually we're gonna employ that guy right there, which, like I said, that's the reason I can't do this myself. And just like that, guys, the front one is done. It is now the new higher temperature boiling point fluid. This is also .4, if I didn't say that. So believe it or not, all these cars shipped with .3 fluid. So if you're tracking these things, you probably already know you need .4 fluid. So this caliper now has .4 fluid in it. And obviously so does that entire reservoir at this point. So yeah, now he's on to the next one, and that's gonna kind of wrap that up. So after this, we're done with the brake fluid, and we're gonna move on to that thing right there. So that's when you'll see us next. Filling up antifreeze, mixing in the water as well. So this will be roughly a 50-50 mix. And this is the new fluid here. This is the old fluid that will be coming out. So basically, like I said, it will be flushing it through. That's draining the old fluid that's in there now into a bucket so he can discard it. So it's not overfilled whenever this process starts.
Let's pull in a vacuum and start seeing it. Pulling it in here.
This is pulling a vacuum?
Yeah, drawing a vacuum on the system helps to expel that fluid, right? Because we've now created a hot system.
Yeah.
Now we put a low pressure area, and it helps to evacuate, get more of that coolant out.
So it's sucking it out right now.
Basically,
does it ever push it?
No.
Still sucks it out.
Sucks it out, creates a low pressure area here, and that helps to. Sometimes you'll hear the noise; it'll get kind of violent. The machine will shake around because that's extracting that hot fluid.
Okay. Yep, it is shaking a little bit. So all this is done from up top. I was curious I wanted to see how you were going to remove the petcock down here, basically.
Yeah.
Because
it's difficult to get to.
Yeah, very. On the ZR1, there's like 14 panels.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and actually, to get the one hose off, the whole face has to come off.
Yeah.
So
this is definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so that's pretty much it then. There's not much up.
Pretty much it. Yeah, we'll let this. So this pulls a vacuum, and that'll help pull the new fluid in. And you watch hoses and different things, make sure it pulls all that it can. If you don't, you can top it off, not a big deal. And then we put the additive in. You already showed. Yep, that additive. We'll put that in with it.
And then that's it.
That's it.
All right, so not
start it up, let it bleed out, make sure it bled out and topped off, and that's it.
Not a giant deal, I guess, but yeah, it's still not a machine we have. So interesting. It's definitely a lot easier doing it this way than draining it out the bottom. Because like I was saying, the ZR1 has all these panels underneath. I don't even know how hard it would be to get to the drain valves on the radiators. So this is what GM wants you to do. So I'm okay with it for warranty purposes, which technically this isn't even under warranty anymore, but either way.
Yeah, so basically you're pulling a vacuum on that system. There's new coolant in the machine. So I draw a vacuum until there's no more fluid coming out. I crack that. I draw another vacuum on just to make sure I expel as much as I can. And then I allow those hoses to completely evacuate. The new coolant is right at the valve, so as soon as I flip the valve, the new coolant is drawn back in with the vacuum. And that's how you get the best fill, all the air out of the system, because you're using that vacuum, and you completely fill that. And then as soon as you crack that, the cone, then we can top it off a little bit as needed. But the machine does a really good job using that vacuum to refill the system.
So that's probably why we let the car get hot then, because that way the thermostat's open and you get all of it out.
It has to be. Yeah. It has to be open, circulating. Otherwise you can't extract what you need to get out.
Perfect. Okay. Makes sense. So that's how you do it, guys. So he does not have to take any of this off, any hoses off, or get under the car, take off a bunch of panels or anything. It's all pretty much done right from the top, which is interesting. I definitely didn't think it was going to be done like this, but you can tell that machine's had a little bit of usage on it, so obviously they've done this a couple times. All right, so all the new coolant has been pulled in. He's now going to dump in that additive, which of course this is all stuff that GM calls for. So once that's all dumped in, you He'll top it off with the AC Delco coolant, and then that's that. So this actually went a lot faster than I thought it was going to take because of the fact I thought he was going to be under there removing tubes and all kinds of stuff. So this is definitely different. But like I said, again, this is what GM recommends. So if you guys have a C7 and you haven't done this yet, you should be doing it. This is 6-year stuff here, and technically I'm almost a year past. I should have done this a little while ago. And that's it. It looks like it's done, guys. So we are officially coolant flushed, filled, brake fluid changed. She's ready to go. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. We're sitting in the car. We are ready to go. Everything looks good as far as temperatures and everything are concerned. That's going to do it. So again, I've said it a couple times, but if you have a C7 Corvette, you are due for this service if you haven't had it done. So make sure you make an appointment with your hopefully trusted dealership. If not, if you're near where I'm at here, you can come out to Cranberry #1 Cochran, talk to Greg. He's a really trustworthy guy, really knows what he's doing, gets it done smoothly and quickly, and he's the only one I trust to touch my cars that isn't me, basically. So anyway guys, if you liked it, smash the thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. I've got tons of content on C7 and C8 coming you're not going to want to miss. And as always, stay obsessed.